Welcome back, everyone. It's here. And today I've got some r/BestOf for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading you the posts, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. This post was collected by The Mystery of Logic, and their tagline is, "The laundry wouldn't be dirty if you hadn't fucked my boyfriend on it." The original LP is Throw R8 Not Cool 1, posted to r/TrueOffMyChest, June 30th, 2024. My little brother, 3 male, is actually my fiance's 25 male kid. Yes, the title is fucked up, I'm aware. My fiance, 25 male, and myself, 24 female, have been together since we were 17, 18 years old. Honestly, he was always kind, handsome, funny, and everyone used to say I was so lucky to have the whole package. I felt so lucky too. He always treated me with love and respect, so this makes everything just so shocking for me. I've always had a good relationship with my mom. It has always been her and I against the world. My dad died in an accident when I was little. We always used to joke we're the real-life Rory and Lorelai from the Gilmore Girls. My mom dated guys on and off, and they were usually cool, but nothing really past the early stages. Around 4 years ago, my mom told me she was pregnant, which was a huge surprise. My mom was around 42 years old, and although she was sort of dating someone recently, didn't meet the guy but knew she went on dates, it was still a big shock. She never thought she could be pregnant at her age. She had me when she was super young, an oopsie, and I can tell she was stressed and worried. I decided to support her, since she has always supported me, and tried to reassure her. She then had my brother, who is now 3 years old. I have a close relationship with my brother. I've helped taking care of him since he was born, and I just love the little guy. My fiance was also always helpful with my brother. We would take him out for ice cream, playground, pool time during summer, etc., but nothing was weird. He was just my then boyfriend spending time with my brother and I. Now to the how I found out. My fiance and I lived together since we finished college. My fiance was not at home since he was hanging out with friends, but I was home because I didn't feel like going out and just wanted to chill on my sofa. At some point during binge watching a series on Netflix, my laptop died and I was too lazy to get my charger. So I just took my fiance's iPad. I know the password, but honestly, never used it before. The iPad logged in and I got a bunch of messages pinging. I guess he hasn't used it in a while too. Anyways, this got my attention and I went to check it out. And of course, I found everything. My mom's number wasn't under her name, but I recognized the number and verified it with my phone. She was telling him she felt guilty and that I should know. He said he also felt guilty but couldn't lose me and they fucked it up. She said that it was unfair for my brother to never not know his dad and that if he could live having his son around, not behaving like a dad but a brother-in-law. I broke down. What the actual fuck? There weren't a lot of older messages, just some photos stored of my brother as a newborn, my mom pregnant, and more photos of my brother growing up in an album. I couldn't anymore. I cried for what seemed ages, and I waited for my boyfriend to come back home. I wish I was one of those women that can pretend and get things together before confronting the cheater, but I can't. He came back later that night around 11:30 p.m., and I just gave him the iPad with the conversation opened, and saw his face go completely pale. I asked for an explanation. When? How? Why? And he didn't want to at first, but knew he had to. Apparently, a few years back, while I was traveling with some friends, a girls' trip, my fiance and mom had dinner together. This isn't strange since he has been part of the family for so long. Sometimes mom and fiance would eat together at our place, even if I was busy with sports or out. I did the same with his parents. Somehow, unclear how, since he couldn't explain it well, one thing led to another, and they ended up sleeping together. They felt guilty, but apparently not guilty enough, because they slept together 2 to 3 more times, using the excuse of meeting up to discuss how to tell me. Apparently, when my mom got pregnant, they stopped sleeping together and decided to not tell me, since my fiance loved me and couldn't lose me. And my mom didn't want to lose her daughter. So, here we are now, with 2 of the most disgusting humans. I obviously broke the engagement, told my mom to never talk to me again and move in with a friend. I feel bad for my brother since I really love him, but I can't be around him now. I just can't. I feel like it would remind me of all those times we talked about having kids. I would be his baby mama, only baby mama. We talked about this future since we were 17 years old, so I want to puke every time I think how I was actually taking care of his child with someone else, while still having those dreams. I want to puke. Editor's note, comments were mostly supportive, with a few telling their own stories of cutting parents off and a couple with tales of spouses sleeping with parents. How is this even a thing? People be crazy. Update. July 4th, 2024, 4 days later. First, I want to thank everyone for the nice messages and comments. I was not expecting so much support. I'm still a mess, not gonna lie, but after reading the comments I felt better, like a therapy mini-session. So again, thank you all. To the update. As I was afraid, I was indeed confronted near my office this week. I knew this was coming, but thought maybe I had more time. My ex was the person to come find me. Yesterday, Wednesday, after finishing work and walking to where my car was parked, my ex was sort of lingering, waiting around. I thought about running, not gonna lie, but I guess in the moment I felt strong enough to get over with it, instead of having that hanging above my head, waiting to be approached again. He asked if we could talk, and I said yes, but I didn't feel like having that conversation over coffee like we were old friends. It felt ridiculous, so I told him to just talk. Right there. We were in the streets, but somehow it wasn't crowded, but also not completely lonely. Felt right. He basically said sorry 100 times and that I deserved better. I agreed. He said he did love me, and that he still does, but he would understand why I wouldn't want anything to do with him. He said that if I did in fact consider giving him a chance, that he would go to therapy, alone or together, or both, and that he would work hard to win my trust back. I told him it wasn't possible. There was too much damage. This sounds calm when I type it, but in the moment things came out more with louder tone and harsher words. Anyways, he did say that he is in the, or will be, it was a bit of a blur, process of getting custody, partly from my brother, and that he in fact does want to be a dad to him. He said he does not want to be together with my mom, that it was just a stupid mistake. Sure. Because 4 to 5 times mistake is just a random thing. He couldn't explain why he did it in the first place. I think he doesn't even know himself. I asked if he cheated with someone else before. He said no. Not sure if to believe it, but he sounded honest. I asked why he didn't come clean, and he said that after he did the deed, he always felt panicked and it hits him that he could lose me, and he just didn't want to. I told him it was meant to be found out. That what was his plan? To have my brother around and ignore the relationship forever? He said he didn't think far enough and that he was basically going with the idea one day at a time type of survival. I asked him if he felt that my mom seduced him. He said it was mutual, which made me want to puke again. I asked if he has any contact with my mom since I found out. He said yes, but mostly about my brother. Didn't elaborate more, and I didn't press for more info on that. He said he told his parents the day before, or the day before that, not sure, Monday or Tuesday, about everything. The parents were not happy, but they're glad to start building now a relationship with my brother, their grandkid. Honestly, all of this felt like a punch in my stomach. I don't know why. The parents wanted to contact me, but he told them to wait till he approached me first, hence why he was here. I said if he started or thought about the custody before I found out, and he said no. But when I found out was like the push he needed. Great. Seems I help him get his shit together. Ugh. And this past week, he was arranging all of that mess. That's why he hasn't tried to see me before. He sounded and looked defeated. But the whole thing made me, besides sad, angry. I was mainly depressed before, but now I'm furious. I feel like he is still in an okay place and he isn't paying for his actions beyond me leaving him. He will have my brother, his parents, and others, and move on with his life, while I lost everything. I hate him. We parted ways not on a happy note, and I told him to never get near me again. I was done. He asked me to see my brother still, that I was important to him, and tried to guilt trip me and it worked, but I still think I can't. I don't know much about my mom and really hope she doesn't come find me anytime soon because I'm fuming right now and won't be able to handle it. I will be contacting my family and friends and finally doing the blasting today. I think it's about time, and after my talk with him, I got the extra push I needed. Editor's note, top comments suggest moving to Australia. Can't fault that line of thinking. Update 2, July 7th, 2024, 3 days from the last post, 7 from the original post. Hi everyone, again I want to say thanks for all the support on my last update. Honestly, like I said in my previous post, it really helped me a lot emotionally. All your comments and also all the advice I got. That being about moving abroad or what to say when I do the blast. Thank you. So, update. A lot has happened. I did the blasting, and this is how it went down. I first posted on my family's Facebook group we share. This is from my mom's side of the family. I used inspiration of what you all suggested in my last post and said something around the lines of, I want to communicate to you all that my wedding with X has been permanently canceled since I found out that my mom, name, and my ex, name, had in the last few years a sexual relationship which resulted in the birth of my little brother, name. I had no clue of any of this, and I found out about it last week. I won't have, moving forward, a relationship with name of mom and ex, name, for obvious reasons. I would appreciate your understanding, and I felt it was only fair to let you know of the situation, since I value transparency and honesty above all. I also included a screenshot of my mother's message, what I said to her once I found out, and a message she managed to write back before I blocked her. Didn't open the message till before the blasting. I didn't want to hear or read her and be persuaded. It exploded. I had family reaching out via text and calling the whole day after the blasting. I would say most were very supportive, and I could tell they were just shocked. There were a few neutral and some suspicious that it wasn't the whole story and maybe I misunderstood. My grandparents were in the maybe you misunderstood category, which isn't surprising since my mom is super close to my grandparents, and like I said before, my mom was always a good mom, so no red flags. I will be moving with a cousin that is more like a sister to me. I haven't reached out to her previously because I knew once she knows, everyone would. That's why I went to my friend's place. My cousin is devastated on my behalf and offered I live with her and her 2 kids until I can get my feet on the ground. I accepted and will be moving next week. I'm a bit afraid this would give my mom an easier access to me, but I can't stay at my friend's place forever. I then proceeded quickly to post a similar message for we share most of our friends since high school and local university, friends on Instagram. I created a close friends story and tagged most of them too. This went sort of viral in our friend group. Actually, one of my friends sent me my Reddit post and asked if this was me. I confirmed. They were all so shocked and speechless. They never thought my ex would even remotely do anything like this. They said he was crazy about you. Oh well, apparently he went overboard on the crazy part. The group of friends is divided at the moment. Some are completely on my side, and some are thinking it isn't the whole truth. I told everyone that reached out that if they don't believe me, to ask their friend if he's asking for custody of my little brother. That kind of shut them up for now. My ex deleted his social media, apparently. Also, my ex's parents called me like I guess they would. They were kind to me and were very sorry about everything. I got the feeling they're also overwhelmed and very disappointed. However, it was clear they will be supporting their son. They are very upset at my mother, who don't want anything to do with her, but not sure how that'll work out with my little brother and everything else. They tried to give me info about the custody and what is my ex up to now, but I shut that down quickly and told them I don't want any info. I want to move on. I also asked them to not reach out to me in the future, that I needed distance, specifically if they'll be supporting my ex. He's living with his parents at the moment. Also, my ex and my mother, after the blast, were going nuts trying to reach out to me. They tried calling my friend, who she blocked them, and reaching out from different numbers. I had to put my phone on silence and ignore everyone. However, my mother sent me a long text from another number, and that was a weird text. She said that I was being cruel and that she didn't think she raised me that way. She said she thought we had a better relationship than me blasting out laundry like that without talking to her first, that I didn't have the whole picture. She did mention something that confused me. She said in her long-ass text that the reason she slept with my ex is because he reminded her of my dad. That it was grief. That she didn't mean to use him to heal her pain, but she wasn't strong enough. I don't even know what that means! Like, did she think that my ex looks physically like my dad? Or personality? Or what? I've seen photos of my dad, and well, yeah, my ex isn't super different, but also not super alike. I mean, they share brown and dirty blonde hair, blue eyes, white skin, but that's not so uncommon. I don't see what else, I don't know. That threw me for a loop and honestly makes me want to confront my mom just to know what the hell. From all the things that she could say, I was not expecting that. I'm holding on better. I didn't cry every hour or want to murder them, but I'm still sad and upset, and it feels like it isn't my life. That it's a big joke or a bad dream and I'll wake up to my normal life. I also need to really start planning my future and start applying for jobs in other cities, or maybe check the possibilities abroad more seriously. I might ask for 2 to 3 days off work to really get my thoughts together and do some research. I'm terrified, to be honest. I feel frozen, but I know I need to start moving. Editor's notes. This one has some funny comments. Commenter 1. That mom is hilarious. I thought I raised you better. I never in a million years thought you'd fuck my boyfriend, but here we are. Commenter 2. My petty ass would be sending her that. Commenter 3. Right? The irony of her blaming you for airing laundry when she did that. Commenter 4. The laundry wouldn't be dirty if you hadn't fucked my boyfriend on it. And unfortunately, since then, OP has in fact deleted their account. And I can really only hope that in the time it's been, that they've been able to move on and heal and find a new partner, new family, or whatever the hell it's going to take for them to move on from this. Because, like, gross. And second of all, why on earth would you think this would ever be acceptable? Honestly, thank God her laptop died when it did while watching Netflix, because how fucked would it be if she had married him and they went through at the wedding, and then after she was tied down, that's when the truth came out. Also, what a bullshit thing to say for the mom to be like, I didn't raise you this way. Honestly, I don't know what kind of way you wanted to raise me in, because honestly, if your way of raising involves you fucking my fiance because he helps with your grief, yeah, how about no? This post was collected by Choice Evidence 1983, and their tagline is, It dawned on me that he was a wizard. The original OP is Radikins, posted to r/amItheasshole, December 5th, 2023. Am I the asshole for telling my mom I won't be the good kid for free anymore? Content warnings for verbal and physical abuse, emotional neglect, excessive burdening of a minor, and exploitation, financial inequality. First off, this is one of my first posts, so please forgive me for any mistakes. So, some context. My mother has 2 children. Me, 24 female, and my younger sister, 15 female. Her and my dad were never together, but when she got pregnant with my sister all those years ago, she married my stepfather out of wedlock. My stepfather is much, much older and was pretty wealthy at the time. When my mother decided to marry my stepdad, she packed me up and moved us 4 hours away from my grandparents, my primary caregivers since I was born, and my dad. I won't get too far into what my life was like after I moved in, but it's worth mentioning I suffer from diagnosed CPTSD and severe anxiety from my years of living with them. My sister never had a chance. From the start, she's been spoiled. Not just spoiled, spoiled rotten. As the years went on, I tried to tell my mother and stepdad that she would not just grow out of it like they said she would. I've had friends compare her to Veruca from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. She screams, throws things, hits people, threatens to lie to CPS, calls our mother a whore/fat cow/depressed loser, and calls her father an old man. For heaven's sake, she called her 95-year-old grandmother an old bitch and stomped on her other grandmother's foot. She is out of control. What is done about this? Well, their idea of discipline is nothing. Her dad is considerably older and doesn't want to make her hate him for the short amount of time he has left with her. So he leaves the discipline to our mother, who is mentally very unstable and crumbles easily. Because my sister is so outwardly difficult, I've always been revered as the golden child. To be clear, me being the golden child included my silence in compliance. I had to be responsible and mature for my age because my stepdad and mother were not. Because of this, and some guilt, my mother and stepfather have always overly relied on me. I'm the one who placates, who mediates, who tried to parent their kid but was constantly undermined. It caused me to have several severe relationship issues as an adult. After high school, I moved out and went to college. I attended therapy and started to learn that my people-pleasing from living with them was crippling me. So I've slowly started stopping. The last key component to the context is that my mom and stepdad do not support me, even when I lived with them in high school. Every dime for lunch money or new clothes came from my grandparents. Even my car was given to me by my grandparents at 18. They've paid one semester of my junior college, roughly $2,500, and to their credit, they did pay for my braces when I was 10. However, this pales when compared to the $10,000 a semester they spend on her private school tuition, her $1,000 monthly allowance they put on her debit card, her new Porsche car, which she can't even drive yet, plus so much more. My mother even asked me to give up my birthday last year to attend my sister's cheer nationals in Florida, which I did to be a good sister, but there was no such thing for me when I was in high school. For record, I understand most of this money is my wealthy stepdad. I'm not delusional to the fact that I'm not his kid and therefore shouldn't expect support from him. However, they expect me to support them. Now I'm out ahead. I've always relented and gone to my mother's house on Christmas Eve to wake up and open gifts Christmas morning because it's important to her. But I don't believe I'm there because she wants to be me, but mostly so I can mediate. My sister always makes a spectacle of Christmas Eve. Last year, our mother put $4,000 worth of gifts under the tree for her and me both. And my sister was not happy with a single gift that she asked for. I'm talking screaming, throwing gifts in the trash, biting, scratching, all at 14 years old. Christmas Day has always ended in screaming and tears. I hate Christmas because of this. This year, I wanted to spend it with my grandparents and see my dad over the holiday. This was not taken well. I get told by my grandmother that I'm the only thing keeping my mom sane. It was implied a good kid would want to spend time with her family and sister on Christmas. And I told her that my younger sister has gotten so much more than me. Money, opportunities, support, etc. And she gets to be horrible to her mother and get rewarded for it. Why should I be the good kid if I'm not getting anything in return? Why should I spend a holiday with family that makes it horrible over my grandparents who are actually supporting me? My grandma said that this was a horrible thing to say. She begged me not to say this to my mother and to just put up with it. This is not how my grandparents raised me to be or think, but it's not so much about the money as it is just the blatant usage of me. Some part of me feels greedy and spoiled for being upset over the difference in support, but somehow it still just feels so wrong to keep giving in to them. What's keeping me at bay is that my grandparents have never steered me wrong, but I sometimes wonder if what was done to me gets forgotten about because my mother is mentally ill and does suffer. And my sister is like this because it's all she's ever known. I can't help but feel like I can't relent on this one though, that my boundaries are being trampled. So, am I the asshole for wanting to say this to my mother? If yes, what else do I do? Thank you in advance for reading. Am I the asshole with an H has no consensus but based on the comments, OP was not the asshole. Relevant comments, Intrepid Potential 60. You want to be paid to go to her house for Christmas? Look, go be happy. But that is just not a good move. Essentially losing all class and character and blackmailing for your attendance. Just don't go. Not the asshole for not wanting to go, but you would be if you played that pay me card. OP responds, I'm not asking for monetary gain. I'm asking them to stop using me as their support, financial, emotional, etc. when they haven't shown me any since I moved in with them at 10 years old. It's always been this big deal of, well, you came out of it a better person, and they can't help it, and you're out of it now. But I'm still suffering from the damage they caused. My sister suffers. My grandparents suffer. They suffer. But instead of owning up to anything, they'd all rather pretend to have another happy Christmas. I'm ready to bring everything to a head, but then comes the hard truth. I can't be the golden child with nothing in return but misery. User RipTipNip comments, "That's Grandma's this. Why doesn't she support you being independent from your mother and trauma? You won't have them forever. Why don't they want you to spend the time with them who love you, than with your spoiled sister?" OP responds, "These are my maternal grandparents, although my grandpa is not my blood grandpa and not my mom's biological dad. Her dad denounced her on his deathbed. My mother has always had this jealousy when it comes to my grandparents. My grandmother in particular. When under the influence, she's told me several times, 'I'm sorry I wasn't the mother you needed,' or 'I'm not your mom, not her.' My grandmother, I think, parents from guilt a lot for my mom, because she's mentally ill and was an addict. We all sympathize with my mom and her situation of not being stable and stuck in a marriage we don't think she'd ever choose to be in now. However, I, for some reason, get the brunt of bearing the emotional load. My grandma does try to lessen it, but my mom wants me because having me around lessens her guilt, I believe." User Thess514 comments, "I get that another part of the problem is that your grandparents are asking you to do this to support your mother, their daughter, I'm guessing. It might be worth explaining that you need a break or you're going to snap, and you don't want to add more drama to an already fraught situation. Frame it as a temporary break to your grandparents, just to get some breathing space until your mother's current family unit finds a new balance. That'll probably end up being never, but at least it gives you time. And if they insist, suggest that they go and support your mother while you spend Christmas with your dad, if they want her load eased so much. They don't want to deal with your sister either, so that should help them understand what they're asking you." Opie responds, "Yes, this is a big part of the problem. My grandparents have done so much for me that they shouldn't have had to do because I'm not their child. Yet they did. I will forever be indebted to them, and if they ask anything of me, I agree without hesitation. So what this situation really boils down to is that if I'm not there, the drama and emotional burden falls on my grandmother. She's elderly, sickly, and I just can't let them happen without some sort of plan." Update, January 30th, 2024. I took a lot of advice from my original post, just felt like I should update things on here and get some advice in turn. Christmas went unexpectedly well, but not for the reasons one would think. I ended up not saying anything harsh to my mother. I stayed with my grandparents as long as I could, then made the 3-hour drive up to my mother and stepdad. My stepdad's family have always been so kind and treated me like family, so I enjoyed going over there and spending time with them. My mother and stepdad left the get-together early on Christmas Eve. Come to find out, my sister had opened all her gifts earlier that day before I got there. When she realized she didn't get everything she wanted, she took a couple of my presents and threw them in the pool. Luckily, I asked for a lot of cat toys for my cats, and those are things she threw in, and they were fine after they dried. I spent the night with my mother and stepdad while my sister stayed with her aunt and cousins, and I opened my presents peacefully on Christmas morning before heading to see my dad. All things considered, it was a nice holiday compared to the others we've had. What comes after is unfortunately not an improvement. It seems like my sister's behavior is on a steady decline. For some context, last year my sister messaged me with a picture of her with a fat lip, saying our mom hurt her. I was so angry. I called her aunt to pick her up and told her she was not allowed to go back, and if they had a problem, I would call the cops. When I talked to my mother, she had a severe black eye, where my sister had attacked her. I didn't care who started it. I just thought it should never have had to escalate to that. She spent the summer with her aunt. CPS investigated and found no abuse in the home. Both my mom and sister went to therapy. My sister wanted to go back to her parents before school started. Now, presently, my sister has learned that she can abuse our mom and get away with it. I have gotten 3 phone calls where I've seen my mom with black eyes, scratches, or marks from my sister. I've witnessed her snatch a wig off my mother's head and ripped her hair out. My mother lacks confidence because her husband insults her on the daily, and my sister will destroy anything that could bring her confidence. I've witnessed her pour Starbucks into my mom's makeup bag, cut her wig, etc. She's thrown glass mugs at my mother too. The last phone call I got from my mother was her with another black eye, and she said that my stepdad tried to spank my sister, but she just rolled her eyes. Apparently, he took her phone away too, but only for 2 hours. My stepdad does not stand up for my mother, and she has no power and no money to enforce over my sister's head. My sister says they can't do anything either, or she'll call CPS on them. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna interrupt real quick. Honestly, fucking do it. Call CPS on yourself. End up in the foster care system. Do you know what you won't have? Your Porsche. Seriously, do it. Call CPS. Get put in the system. See how you enjoy that. Anyways, when my mother called me this last time, I basically just shrugged and told her I didn't know what else to tell her. Send her to boot camp, a mission trip, turn off her phone, something. But it's all things I've said before. I've toyed with the idea of getting the law involved, but how seriously do they take child-to-parent abuse? Would I be the asshole if I did that? Any advice is appreciated, and thanks for reading my vent post. Edit, going no contact is almost impossible. I owe my entire life to my grandparents, and if I go no contact with my mom/stepdad, the burden falls onto my grandmother, who I'm sure my mom would hound to get to me. I'm taking steps to go low contact, though. Edit 2. Just found out my sister's aunt, my stepdad's sister, was told about the abuse from my mom. My aunt would like to hold a meeting and intervention with the whole family, me and the parents included. I will not be part of the disciplining process, but I absolutely will be giving my 2 cents on everything. Come to find out, it's my aunt paying for my sister's very expensive school, and she's now threatening to pull her from that school if she does not agree to a 6-week anger management outpatient thing. My sister is incredibly snobby and has said before she'd rather die than go to public school. She also loves her cheerleading team. I'll keep updating. Relevant comments. Cirelli, not the asshole, but get your mom to put up hidden nanny cams in her house so the next time your half-sister hurts her, it's on camera, and when half-sister pulls the CPS bullshit again, your mom will have footage in case she does call them. She can also take the footage to the police and press charges. Maybe juvenile detention or jail will teach the spoiled brat she can't just get away with everything. Opie responds, I've been telling my mom to record her, at least what she says in voice memos, but my sister gets my mom in such a tizzy, she forgets to do it in the moment. I have a couple of recordings, but just of her being insanely bratty and mouthy. Nothing legally incriminating, sadly. A secret cam might do the trick if I can convince my mom to put it up. User SickBrick3 comments, sounds like your mother is desperate for your help, maybe even a way out, even if that only means a roof and 4 walls. OP responds, I've tried to help as much as I can between my means. She doesn't want the advice or solutions I give her. She doesn't want to bring up the problem to anybody or do anything drastic, which I realize is also a pattern of abuse, but there isn't anything else I can do. I called CPS before and they found no abuse. If I called the cops, they'd all pretend like everything was fine. User Penguin in a Jacket comments, this is really just a sad situation. The only way I can really see to fix this is to have your mother and stepdad divorced, to just sever the tie of your awful stepsister, or send her to a camp, but it's very unlikely. The way you're feeling is very real. Your burnout of trying to put out fire on someone else's house, unfortunate, but not your problem. Your mother is getting beaten by a child and your stepdad wants a brat to like him before he dies. If you can't step away from the situation, at least protect yourself emotionally. And understand that really there's nothing you specifically can do to fix other people's lives. OP responds, through therapy, I have begun the process of peeling away emotionally. I'll always have sympathy and compassion from my family, for anyone. But I've realized there's nothing more I can do. I've come to terms with the fact that I might have to always keep this part of my family at arm's length to truly be able to breathe. These are the final steps to keeping it that way until they change something. The sad part is, my mom had made changes by leaps and bounds. She's quit alcohol, quit abusing her pills, gone to psychotherapy, and gotten her bipolar under control and stuck to it, etc. She is so much more controlled, and my sister and stepfather bring out the worst in her still, for their benefit. User Avalon Kate comments, if you're in the States, many states have elder abuse laws. It sounds like stepdad qualifies. Not sure about mom. In Florida, it's a felony. Opie responds, if I got them involved, my stepdad and mom would play dumb and deny everything. They're too embarrassed to bring shame upon themselves from what they've raised, sadly. That unfortunately is the last of the updates from OP when it comes to this. They have, though, been posting on r/game development looking for tips and tricks, as well as posting on weddings under $10,000. So, seems like OP is going in a decent direction, and the lack of information regarding her family makes me wonder if maybe she went no contact. It's unfortunate, but in situations like this, there's not really much more you can do. The unfortunate part is that your sister is going to get one hell of a wake-up call when she turns 18, and she no longer has the protections in place that she had when she was a minor. The law is gonna come down on her. She's gonna do something fucking stupid. And it's going to come full circle. Full swing. Also, your stepfather is a failure of a dad. Seriously. Putting the fact that he wants the daughter to like him over being an actual parent. I get that he has limited time left, but that's his fucking legacy. That's what he's A-okay with being his final mark on this planet. Good God, I would be ashamed. I mean, he probably is. This post was collected by Direct Caterpillar 77, and their tagline is, "Satan is not a pogo stick." The original OP is Big Cosma Prob, posted April 18th, 2016, to r/relationships. My 22 female friend, 32 female, posted my work on her social media, claiming it as her own. I'm on mobile, so I'll try to keep this as simple and condensed as I can. A bit of background. I graduated from cosmetology school in a different state than I currently reside. When I moved here, I needed more hours to get licensed in my current state. So I returned to school and instantly made friends with a girl, who I'll be referring to as Mindy. At my last week of school before I graduated, I was running a bit late in the morning and forgot my phone at home in my rush, which really sucked because I knew I had a girl coming in who wanted a big change, and I wanted to take before and after pictures. But Mindy was there that day, and I asked her if she could take the pictures for me and send them to me. She accepted, and I thought that was that. A few weeks went by, and I never got the pictures despite me asking for them, and I never got any response from her. Now it becomes a bit more pressing. I'm applying to jobs, and I'm putting together a portfolio of all my work. Again, I ask if she can send me the pictures so I can put it in there. This time, she apologizes profusely for not getting them to me sooner and says that she'll send them. 2 days later, still no pictures. Bringing us to today. I ask her again for them, nicely mind you, and I don't get a response. I figure that she's super busy at her job and can't get back to me right away. But as I'm looking through my Instagram, I see that she made a post of the before and after pictures of my client with the caption saying, "Check out this rocking haircut that I did. Come see me for all your hair needs." When I saw this, I was fucking livid. This girl was one of my first friends at my new beauty school, and now she's taking credit for the work that I did. My question is, how do I approach her about this? And how can I ask her to delete the post from her Instagram page? Do I need to realize to her face to face and make sure she does it? Too long didn't read, a friend of mine from beauty school took before and after pictures for me of a client when I forgot my phone. She posted the pictures on social media claiming the haircut to be her own work. How do I handle this? Relevant comments. When told to take screenshots and inform the school. Thank you for this. Screenshots have been taken of both her Instagram posts and the messages sent back and forth between us. I plan on going into the school and hopefully getting this figured out. Maybe they can provide me with some sort of proof. Also, I should add that the client just started at the school, right after I did her hair, so she'll be at the school too to help me out with this. When told to contact Instagram and have it removed. Thanks for the advice. I'm going to report the photos so that she doesn't have any chance to take it down herself. It's much more satisfying this way. Also, my client has an Instagram, and I'll get in contact with her about reporting the picture as well. Either way, the school will be contacted, and I hope they can help me out. Update. April 19th, 2016, the next day. My last post got a lot more attention than I was expecting, so I decided to post an update. And I wanted to thank everyone for the replies and advice, especially the dude that told me to do another haircut. It's not like I found a cure for cancer. This one's for you, buddy! On to the update. So I went to the school to see if they could help me. I went to the academy director and the director of admissions, and they were so helpful. They told me they were on my side because they aren't huge fans of Mindy, and this isn't the first time they've dealt with this. I showed them the Instagram post and they got to work. They checked the schedule the day that I did the haircut and also checked the client ticket. The schedule showed that I was the one scheduled to do the haircut, and Mindy was working behind the front desk that day. And people behind the desk are not allowed to take clients. And the client ticket specifically said that I was the one performing the service. Next, we called my client, a new student at the school, to the office to let her in on this. I also showed her the post and she seemed quite peeved at it. So she was on my side as well. I took some of your advice and asked if she could write a release of sorts to say that Mindy did not have the authorization to put the pictures on social media. She, however, wrote that I was allowed to use the photos in my portfolio if I wished. So both directors got in contact with Mindy and showed her the letter written by my client. Luckily, Mindy is none too smart and got scared that some sort of legal action would be used against her and apologized profusely. She didn't apologize to me, of course. She was only remorseful because she got caught. Lovely. In any case, the pictures were taken off of Instagram not 2 minutes later, and the original pictures were sent to the director of admissions, who sent them to me. The directors are apologizing to me for the whole fiasco and offered me a free service of my choice. So I'm going in today and getting me a massage. So yeah, everything worked out in the end. Too long didn't read, Mindy got scared legal action would be taken against her, took the post down, and the pictures were sent to me. I'm getting a massage. Edit. I want to add really quickly that the directors at the school will be speaking with Mindy's boss. They will let me know if any disciplinary actions will be taken against her. Edit 2. Massage was the bomb diggity. Directors called Mindy's boss while I was getting my massage. Mindy's boss will be having a very serious word with her today. Boss will then tell the directors, who will tell me what happened. The suspense is killing me. Edit 3. I just got off the phone with the academy director. Thank you, Zugama Kerfuffle, for putting it so eloquently. My justice bone couldn't be any harder right now. Fucking Mindy has been fired. Her boss asked her to grab her things and leave because plagiarism is absolutely not tolerated at her work. The moral of the story here, don't be a dick. On just a note for myself here, how dumb do you have to be to think you'll get away with this? You have someone who's actively requesting for you to send said photo. You don't think they're maybe gonna check your Instagram or stumble upon it by accident and see the fact that you're plagiarizing their work and that's why you're not sending the photos? I'm actually wondering if Mindy got the job that she got because she used OP's photos as part of her portfolio and that was something that caught their attention. So therefore, well, now I really can't send them because then it might come out that these aren't my photos, so I just need to double down and see if OP forgets. You know, forgets a piece of work that she's extremely proud of. Forgets a piece of work that she spent a lot of time on. Forgets a piece of work that she's been asking for consistently for the past couple weeks now. Idiot. Well, if everything went according to plan, which God I hope so, I should hopefully be sleeping in right now and not having any concerns or worries unless it turns out one of these videos is actually just like a horrendous take or something and the comment section is burning me alive and I have no idea. But yeah, I should just be relaxing for the next like week or so and just like maybe playing games or doing renovations or just like enjoying my time, maybe seeing the city, who knows. So that'll be fun. First time off in quite a while. Don't forget to use code OZ at checkout, by the way, with GamerSupps, 10% off. It's a way that you can directly support the channel and get caffeine or flavored water if you're into that. Anyways, I'll catch you all soon.